G'day everyone, Viv here, welcome back. I hope you're all keeping well. I really must sort out some hats and change my clothes. Or at least put on a different shirt that's a different colour so it doesn't look like I'm wearing the same clothes, and find some more hats. Anyway, I was in Adelaide last weekend and popped along to Little Wars. Little Wars is a miniature gaming convention that originated in Melbourne, and they had one in Adelaide this year and last year, and this year in November they're having one in Canberra. Anyway, it's like one of those little small conventions where there's a lot of participation games going on, a whole bunch of trade stands and vendors and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit different than most of the tournament type events that I go to for a specific game system, and people are playing a tournament. This is much more of a show, an event. Whole bunch of different people organising and running a whole bunch of different sorts of games for people to come and participate in and learn about and check out to see if that's something that they're interested in. So I went along to go say howdy to a few people, just see who was there, what retailers were out there, and I came across these guys here, these Tufts from Leadbears Tufts. Now I don't have a website for these guys, but Barry, who I said to him, look, I'll make a video about the Tufts. He's had some good feedback from his customers and other people that I've spoken to, including Nick from Eureka. I mentioned that he's had good feedback from his customers, but he's got these little handmade Tufts. They're all handmade. The quality of them looks fantastic. Now I know what it's like to make handmade Tufts, so these guys are doing a fantastic job. And the big bonus with these Tufts is they're self-adhesive. Now I know there's probably other self-adhesive Tufts on the market. I've never personally used any. I've used Mini Nature Tufts only because I've always made my own. But I thought I'd grab a whole bunch of different sorts of Tufts from these guys. I got 5 or 6 different sorts of packets of different sorts of coloured Tufts. We'll have a look at these closer. And some of these sort of leafy Tufts which I really like. And then some flowers from them also. And I said I'd do a little bit of a review for him. Now I did say to him, and as I've said to other people that have contacted me, I will do an honest review. Whether it's a good, bad or brilliant product, I will give you my honest opinion about how I feel about it. I've been contacted by people before asking me how much does it cost to have a product reviewed, and I always say, look, it doesn't cost you anything. If you want me to review something, I'm happy to do that. Send me something to have a look at. If it's a bad product, I'm going to tell everyone it's a bad product. If it's a good product, I'll tell everyone it's a good product. Anyway, so Barry, I had a chance tonight to have a bit of a play around. I don't have any miniatures which I can try these out on at the moment, but perhaps I'll do that again later on. But for me, it's all about the scenery anyway. So I've taken one of my little resin walls here, which I really should do. I've got so many different resin products which I should probably put on our website. And I've attached some of the Tufts to it. Now this piece was already painted, it was already flocked, it was already sealed. All I've done is taken the Tufts out of the package and stick them onto this piece of scenery. And I tell you what, they're not coming off. They're not coming off of there. They're on there pretty good. And I think they look fantastic. I mean, one Tuft is, I guess you could say one Tuft is the same as another Tuft. Tuft. How many words can I say that, times can I say that word Tuft before it starts to sound weird? But, you know, whilst they might all be the same, there's certainly something about using something that's locally made. Now, like I said, I don't have a website for these guys. There's no website on this packaging, and that's one thing I will have a go at. This packaging in these great big massive blister packs is not really fantastically good. It's obviously printed on a printer at home, and I mean that's perfectly acceptable and perfectly understandable for someone who his wife was there also, makes these Tufts on the kitchen bench. There's quite a lot in here. In one of these packets of Tufts, that page is double-sided. There's 140 Tufts in here. I'll take them out of this package. So for what you get, the packaging itself is not fantastic. Now I did get some stuff in a blister pack, and I also got one packet that was in a box, like, you know, like a little CD case. I don't know what the difference is or why this one was in a CD case and this one was in a blister. Maybe he's changing, I don't know. But at this point, that's my only criticism, is that the packaging of these is really fairly mediocre. The font that you've used is fairly ordinary, and it's been printed on a fairly ordinary printer. Now, as I said, I can understand that, and it's always difficult when you're running a very small business in a very niche market and you're doing that business from home by hand to justify the expenses of retail packaging. I can certainly understand that, but there's some criticism. The packaging is fairly lame. The product, however, is amazing. Inside you get this little double-sided packet of Tufts. It's on a piece of baking paper. Inside is some little information. Apply the tuft gently but firmly, grasp the tuft with a pair of tweezers and pull carefully from the backing paper. Place the tuft in the required position and push gently down. The tuft is very tacky and will conform to most irregular surfaces without the need for additional glue. So there we go, there's one sheet of the Tufts. It's on a little piece of baking paper, and on my little test model here, which is an irregular surface, it's got flock on it already. That's been sealed with PVA. There's rocks on here. These Tufts are sitting down there pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. They're certainly not going to be coming off anytime soon, and I think they look fantastic. Now, he did give me some of these larger Tufts, and he said that I'm still working on these. These are sort of kind of like a prototype, and I'm glad he said that because they're absolutely shocking. And that's these much larger Tufts. Again, that little piece of paper inside that tells you what to do. And there's two different size Tufts on here. One very large, one large, and then obviously you got your regular size Tufts. This is a much longer fibre. It's a much longer static grass. Now, obviously for miniatures these wouldn't be any good, but perhaps if I just quickly stick one onto one of these walls here, it might be a bit different. So I'm just going to pull it off. I don't have tweezers, but my hands seem to work just fine, and I'm just going to plonk it down here. There we go. I don't know, I guess it's not too bad for scenery. Put a couple of extra bits around there. Let's just grab some of these yellow flowers. Let's grab a little yellow flower tuft and jam it in there too. I guess on a piece of scenery it's going to come up okay. I don't know. They're not fantastic. The fibre is too long. It looks like a 12mm fibre, which probably is just a little bit too long. But there we have it. Like I said, I picked up a whole bunch of different sorts of Tufts. I really like these ones. I haven't seen these before, but I'm sure they're around. It's very hard nowadays to come up with a unique product. These ones here. These are like the, what do they call them? What does he call them? Leafy Tufts. So these are really nice. They're not just like a regular ordinary flower, but they're more like a little bush. I like those. There's a couple of different colours of those. A couple of different variations in colour for the small Tufts, and then obviously those beautiful flowers that I showed you just before. So I don't think there's any need to have a look at the application of these Tufts. It's fairly straightforward. There's no glue involved, which is nice, which means that you're not having to worry about the bead of glue around the bottom or having to conceal that with extra flock or something like that. Just peel them off, stick them down, and there we go. It's done. That's done. So I don't know if you'll be able to get these in your area, Leadbears Tufts. They're obviously a very small business operating out of Adelaide in South Australia. Well, not in Adelaide, they're in Murray Bridge, which is an hour outside of Adelaide. Anyway, so I do have an email address. It's leadbear@internode.on.net. You'll find that in the description below. You can send them an email and say, hey, listen, I'm from wherever I'm from, and I've seen your Tufts, and where can I get them from? Maybe someone is stocking them. I don't know how far his business has reached at this point in time. Like I said, I've never heard of him. I found him at that show, Little Wars in Adelaide. Had a bit of a chat. He'd seen my videos, so thanks Barry for watching my videos, and I'm glad you enjoyed the Saga tutorials, and he was playing some Saga there, little 15mm. I gotta say, Saga in 15mm looks pretty damn good. Everything packs away into a super tiny box. Everything looks good. Maybe I might have to get some 15mm stuff. Actually, I've got some 15mm stuff. I just need to get it painted like everything else. That's the story of my life right now. Get it painted. Anyway, there we go. Leadbears Tufts. Good product. Fairly ordinary packaging. Easy, simple application. The adhesive that he uses is fantastic. It's I couldn't rip one of those off. I was thinking about it. I'll stick one on the camera lens, and then I sort of thought, well, hang on, what happens if I can't get it off? So there we go. Leadbears Tufts. Honest review, unpaid. If you want to pay me to review something, I'm happy to do that, but I'm still going to give it a bad review if it's a bad product. Leadbears Tufts. Check them out if you can. Pick them up if you can. I'll certainly be using them as we move forward, along with a whole bunch of other stuff that I already use. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you next time. See ya.